Every now and again, someone in the government gets asked a good question. I would say Fox News' Peter Doocy is basically the rarest of the rare at the moment. Here he is at the White House asking Black lesbian press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre when the White House will delete their Twitter, because obviously it's run by this crazy white supremacist, mean capitalist dude who's into Republicans or something, and he's releasing information. We can't have that. So why is the White House on this thing?
On another subject, when are you guys going to delete the White House Twitter account?
Why would we do that?
Well, you're saying that you're keeping an eye on Twitter because it might not be a suitable platform, so why use it?
Look, I want to be very clear here. The president has always said, and he has been very clear in his belief that it is important of social media platforms to continue to take steps to reduce hate speech and misinformation. And will continue to say that.
Joe Biden, all right. I was going to be, it's the voice, I was going to be a little mean to Joe Biden. I'm going to try to be a little nicer than I was about to be. Joe, or guys pulling Joe's strings, nobody gives an F what you think about hate speech. There's no such thing as hate speech. We have the Supreme Court, which has decided that you are allowed to say mean things about people. The government has no right to tell a tech company or a shoe store or a barber what is allowed to be said in their stores, okay? You guys have violated the First Amendment. That is obvious, and you're back on your heels. But nobody cares. It doesn't matter, Karine Jean-Pierre, that Joe Biden has made it clear that big tech should do this. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are yelling in a void. It does not matter. Now, I get it. There are bad people out there and bad actors out there, and you can place people at Twitter like Jim Baker who can do bad things. But in the way that our system works, or at least purports to work, or I believe has some pieces of it that still work, it does not matter about hate speech. People say mean things to me on Twitter. They did just past this weekend. People did say mean things to me. I interviewed Bibi Netanyahu from Israel. We're going to get to that in a second. You know, if you say anything about Israel, these wackadoodle, all anonymous, crazy people come out and say horrible things. They do. I did not call for anyone to be banned. I blocked a couple people. That's how it is. Anyway, what this is all about really is that they're losing the narrative. So of course, what are they going to say about the Hunter Biden story? Well, it's not even a real story. That's what they're going to try to say now, even though we all know something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
You had said, I think 6 or so days ago, that the White House was watching closely the situation at Twitter after Elon Musk's ownership of it with respect to misinformation. And because these files were released on the basis of, hack materials clause at Twitter, decisions were made to censor reporting leading up to the election. My question was, is it the White House view that these decisions were made appropriately in light of what has come out?
Which decisions? By whom?
By Twitter.
By Twitter on, okay. So look, we see this as an interesting or a coincidence, if I may, that he would so haphazardly, Twitter would so haphazardly push this distraction. That is a full of old news, if you think about it.
She's horrible. She makes Jen Psaki look like Margaret Thatcher. She really does. This is old news. This is a distraction. The world's richest man buying the tech company to now show the world that the government was coordinating to silence dissent on at least the Hunter Biden laptop story. And as I said earlier, I think we're going to find out a whole bunch more, like way more when it comes to COVID and why Dr. Robert Malone and Peter McCullough were banned from Twitter.